and here I can change it. It warns me that it creates projects in a subfolder. I press, seems promising, use and open this solution. Visual Studio, now we see it created. I version control the solution file.
If you like my videos, feel free to do nothing. Just grab a cup of coffee
and enjoy.
Visual Studio 2022 would be better if it had Git on the command line provided with the tool. In Windows 11, developer command prompt for Visual Studio 2022, I want a shortcut to zoom in and out, that is, change the character size. In Windows 11, I want to be able to delete files that are my own if I start a PowerShell as administrator. I would like Visual Studio 2022 to store the project it creates, its default location, somewhere that I can see it from the Windows 11 Explorer. I would like Windows 11 PowerShell and user interface, the Explorer, to agree on what I'm allowed to do as a user. I want Windows 11 to have a better help function. I want Visual Studio 2022 to not add unnecessary files. I would like Visual Studio 2022 to clean better all the files that is not required to store between builds. I want Windows 11 PowerShell to give me tips on what I'm doing wrong instead of expecting me to search the web. In Windows 11 Developer PowerShell for Visual Studio 2022, I want an easier way to zoom in and out, to change the font size. I would like Visual Studio 2022 to advise me or be clear about what project files I need to version control to be able to share the project with others through Git. Visual Studio 2022 would be better if it had Git on the command line provided with the tool. It's integrated, but if you try to start a developer command line and you try to use Git, it's not there. And just to check, you do the developer PowerShell, you try Git, and it's not there. It would be much better if it came with a Git that actually is in there because it's integrated in the GUI. In Windows 11, developer command prompt for Visual Studio 2022, I want a shortcut to zoom in and out, that is, change the character size. So I've been told, I've been expecting to be able to press Ctrl+. Nothing happens. I'm on a Macintosh, so I try Command+, but then I get this annoying behavior. I don't want that. I also been told that for the PowerShell, I should be able to control and scroll wheel on my mouse. Doesn't work. Could be something about parallels not interfacing Windows 11 correctly. Anywho, what I have to do is go here, go to Properties, go to the second tab here, which says Characters, and it's annoying and slow, and here I can change it. This is inconvenient. We can do better. In Windows 11, I want to be able to delete files that are my own if I start a PowerShell as administrator, but I can't. So if I run this PowerShell as administrator and I give it administrator access, my expectation now is that I'm administrator. I also know that this folder is mine. I created it from Visual Studio 2022. So I expect to be able to delete it somehow. and it warns me, but it fails. So maybe I need to do another command, remove directory, and we try the same thing, and we got the same warning, and we got the same error. This is confusing. We can do better. I would like Visual Studio 2022 to store the project it creates, its default location, somewhere that I can see it from the Windows 11 Explorer. And it does not, because I know if I open the developer PowerShell for Visual Studio 2022 that it creates projects in a subfolder to my user folder called source. But that folder is nowhere found in the Explorer. Neither is my home folder shown, so I can't even open the folder with my name. And if I try documents, which could be somehow a guess, this is not the correct one. So this is confusing, and we can do better. I would like Windows 11 PowerShell and user interface, the Explorer, to agree on what I'm allowed to do as a user. So here I am logged in as administrator, and I have this folder that I want to remove. It warns me, but it fails. So then I go through the Explorer and I find this somewhat hidden folder. And here I press Command Delete, and I'm allowed to delete it. That's confusing. We can do better. I want Windows 11 to have a better help function. If I do get help and I want to know something about the tree command, seems promising, but then I get totally strange guess, something about pester. We can do better. I want Visual Studio 2022 to not add unnecessary files. So look here what Visual Studio 2022 has done. I know that I have GitHub projects, Git repository, where I only version control the CPP file, the project file, and the solution file. But here, when I use Visual Studio 2022 to work, build, and test this application, all these files has been added. You see the A here, status added. So I don't want that. I mean, I also checked that I don't need to share these files in the repository for others to use and open this solution. Visual Studio will recreate all these files. So yeah, confusing, risky, and we can do better. I would like Visual Studio 2022 to clean better all the files that is not required to store between builds. So I have this, sorry, I gave the wrong command here. I have this clean project with a solution file and a Visual Studio product file for each projects. And I do a build here. of the first project here. That one succeeded. And now we see it created a top directory with the exe file here, and it also created a subdirectory with some temporary files here. So let's see how much gets removed if I do clean day 0. There we go, and we go back. And as you see, the folders are still there and the log is still there. Text files, a lot of stuff is still here. And it's confusing because if I want to version control this and share this state, it's not clear to me from the documentation what I actually need to share with others, i.e. what I need to check into Git version control so that others get my state. This is confusing and it's a little bit sloppy if I'm not trying to be mean. What I mean is we can do better. I want Windows 11 PowerShell to give me tips on what I'm doing wrong instead of expecting me to search the web. It's just time consuming. So here I'm trying to remove this directory. So I try the delete command. And first I get this question, are you really sure you want to remove this? And I get happy because, okay, I'm alerted, I'm trying to do something dangerous, but then it still fails. And I get this blob of red text. And of course in here I see that I don't have sufficient access rights to perform this operation. It would be nice if it was a tip in here guiding me to where I find information about how to raise my privileges. I know I can start the whole PowerShell as an administrator, but I kind of want to do this selectively. I don't want to enter this as administrator and I forget that I'm administrator and forget that I'm unprotected with what I'm doing. So yeah, we can do better. In Windows 11 Developer PowerShell for Visual Studio 2022, I want an easier way to zoom in and out to change the font size. So I expected, or I wanted, Control plus to work, doesn't work, or Command plus, but then you get this annoying behavior, not what I want. I've been told that Control scroll wheel should work, but nothing happens. And could be an interfacing problem with the parallels on my Macintosh here. Anywho, what I have to do is go in here under Properties, check the second tab here, which says Characters, and here I can change. This is inconvenient. I want it better. I would like Visual Studio 2022 to advise me or be clear about what project files I need to version control to be able to share the project with others through Git. So I've guessed here, I have this Git project that I guessed what I needed to version control. So you see here, I version control the solution file, and then for each project I version controlled the project file. So if I execute this solution and open it with Visual Studio, we see that it actually works. So, but that was pure luck. I found no information. I tried to Google or browse the web. And yeah, I was just lucky. This could be more clear. We can do better.
If you like my videos, feel free to do nothing. Just grab a cup of coffee
and enjoy.